July 4th is just around the corner. So, what are the best stocks for the holiday and what are the best stocks that are going to do well for the rest of the summer? Let's go ahead and break it down. So, the holidays around the corner. It's going to be on Thursday. July 4th is on a Thursday. I'm recording this in advance. The stock market will be closed on that day. Just telling you that right now. But there are some stocks that are doing well for the summer, and with people getting ready and that being a pretty major spending holiday, there are some stocks that stand to do quite well, and you might want to add them to your list and maybe even add them to your portfolio. As you guys already know, and I say this almost every year, at the end of June, that's when I start to buy and sell my own stocks. I ain't the only one. So this is a pretty good time for you to start to make some changes to your portfolio. So here are a few ideas for the summer or just mid-year, however it is that you want to look at that. So the first one here is the First Solar. The stock symbol here is FSLR. I think some people have heard of this stock. This is, at the time that we're doing this video, up 52% over the last 6 months, up 40% over the last year. It is a solar company. They make solar modules. I'm not going to sit here and explain that because I'm not an engineer. So there you go. Okay, I like to stick in my own lane. But that company is obviously doing well. The way I'm thinking about this, and really the logic behind all of this list, is in the summertime, as people are spending more time at home, going on vacation, like these are the activities that people are doing, having people over. I'm thinking about, summer wardrobes, barbecuing, home repair, getting stuff ready to have people over to entertain. So for example, for me, I am, making sure I got my wardrobe right. Okay, I'm making sure that I'm getting my deck painted. I'm, getting the garden right, all that type of stuff. So I'm going to a Home Depot, which is not on this list because that stock is not doing well. But that is a stock that I did research. So things like that is kind of what I'm thinking of when I'm making this list. So First Solar did make the list. That stock is doing quite well. It's definitely one that you want to take a peek at. Next here is one we have mentioned before. It has cooled off just a bit, and that is Delta Airlines. Now, I know some people have some gripes about Delta. I totally get that. Everybody doesn't love Delta. Okay, get it. But it is up 20% in the last 6 months and up 15% over the last year. Now, the concerns about Delta, other than the fact that it has slowed down just a bit, I think we talked about it maybe a month or two ago, it was really soaring. It has started to coast just a bit. So if you don't want to hop on it, I totally get it. However, the concern here is there have been, again, I think that Boeing cloud has hung over the entire airline industry just a bit. Southwest Airlines, which again has nothing to do with Delta, has kind of made some headway, I think, in the entire airline industry. Again, that's not Delta's fault, but the stock is still solid, but not as good as obviously a stock that's up 50% like First Solar. The next one, we have talked about this stock. Okay, but the fact that we are going into, again, another retail holiday, and the fact that people are spending more money because it's summer, because they are going to need hot dogs and brisket and all this kind of stuff as we move into the summer season, and a major grilling holiday yet again is Walmart. They already did that stock split. They're hitting all-time highs or 52-week highs quite often. Walmart, ironically enough, at the time I'm doing this video, and I'm recording this on Saturday, so the market is closed. The number is going to be different by the time this video comes out. It is up 31%, exactly 31% in the last 6 months and 31% over the last year. I don't know how that math works. I don't know. I don't know how that is possible. The numbers are numbers. I checked it 4 different times. Up 31% in the last 6 months and somehow also up 31% over the last year. But Walmart has quietly, I feel like quietly, maybe it's been loudly to other people, but it's quietly and consistently done quite well. On the other side of the fence, and also a competitor here, is a stock that I do consistently talk about, and I've been consistently talking about this one for 4 years, but maybe I haven't been loud enough, or maybe I have. You tell me. Costco. Costco been doing good. Okay, I don't know how else to put it, but Costco obviously deserves to be on a list like this when you're talking about shopping and it being a place where you need to get bulk items for the holiday when you got people coming over. Okay, assuming you have people coming over, you could be going to somebody else's house. I don't know, right? But Costco is up 27% in the last 6 months and up 63% over last year. We know Costco pays a solid dividend. It has been very good and very consistent for a very long time. I can't say that Costco is going to be a company that I will never ever sell, because you never know what's going to happen over the long term. But it has been one of those types of companies for me. As you guys know, again, this is a time where I do sit down and see what to sell and what to buy. Costco ain't one of them. Okay, Costco is staying in the portfolio. As we move on to the next three, I do want to remind you that the link below for my autographed copies of my book, From Branding to Blueprint, I teach you how to invest. I also teach you the history and my story of growing up in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We only got a handful of copies left. If you click this link and it goes to a 404 and it doesn't lead anywhere, that means we out of books. Okay, again, like I said, I'm recording this in advance, so I can't tell you how many books there are at the time that you are watching this. Okay, our members get this video first, and then everybody else sees it. So I don't know how many there are going to be by the time that you're watching this. So I'm just saying, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and continue. The next one is Decker Outdoors, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I say if I pronounce that correctly because when I say Deck, this is the outdoor company. They make shoes. This company makes shoes. Okay, but in my mind, when I think about it, I'm thinking about Black & Decker, the tool company. It is not that company. This company makes footwear. Okay, the footwear company, and the ticker symbol is DECK, Deck. They are up 39% in the last 6 months and 92% over the last year. Okay, DEC is a ticker symbol. Now I keep saying that so I get my mind straight and I'm looking at the right company, but I always kind of get those confused. But that company is doing quite well. I might have to go and look at their shoes myself, and I might have to look at add them to my watch list. Now, what I am going to do, because this company is doing so well that I might have to look at it for my own portfolio, what I am going to do is take a look at it, take a look at the shoes too as well, and see what type of footwear. Is it just summer footwear? And this, again, this is me not knowing. This is what I have to research myself. Is it just summer footwear? Do they also have things for the winter? Because you know me, I want to hold it for an entire, at least a minimum of 6 months. I would prefer to hold them for the entire year at least, and hold it until this time next year and see how we do. Ideally, I'd like to hold it forever and ever, right? That is a perfect world scenario. That's what I'd like to do. But I want to see how long they've been doing this well. What type of footwear do they have? Is it just a trend, or is this something that's been going on for a while? So I have a lot of questions because it's a new company for me, but it is one I am going to look at, and one that I am strongly considering given this list, because I already own Costco, so there's no point in me having Walmart. I don't want to have two competing companies. Delta, y'all know how I feel about airlines. So I do think it is fine. I think it's a solid company. I would give it a B. But again, we've talked about how I feel about airline companies. First Solar, pretty solid. We'll see how I feel about that one. But right now, Decker has a very high eyebrow right now for me. Okay, next here is Hilton. Hilton, I feel like, has been under the radar. Now, inside our members only, we have talked a lot about Hilton and Marriott, and we talked about that one maybe 8 or 9 months ago. Again, it behooves you to be up in there, okay? We drop information, and it is usually quite valuable. So Hilton is up 18% over the last 6 months and up 52% over the last year. If you're not going anywhere, well, I'll put it like this. Some people are going places. Now, I've been talking a lot about staying home and barbecuing, people coming over to people's houses. But you got some people, like myself, who will be traveling. I got to go and drive a very long way for the 4th of July this year. I got to stop somewhere. I'm going to be stopping at a Hilton because that's where all my reward points are. This is a part of that. Right now, currently, and I'm going to double check, I believe I own shares of Hilton in my public account. I just want to double check because I like to let y'all know what I own so that y'all know, and we can all be transparent. So I already told y'all that I own shares of Costco. We've all known that for quite a while. And I own shares of Marriott. I do not own shares of Hilton. And right now, I'm up 20.99% on Marriott. Now, the reason why Marriott didn't make the list is Marriott is just not doing as well. Now, what I'm looking at is just last 6 months, Marriott is up about 11%, and 39% over the last year. So just under Hilton. I just should have went with Hilton, which is where my reward points are. So I don't have hindsight, but I did have to pick one of them. I chose Marriott. Should have stuck with Hilton. That's on me. All right, last one here is Amazon. Amazon is up 22% in the last 6 months and up 51% over last year. I think it's relatively obvious, just like having Walmart, just like having Costco in some ways, people are going to be buying a lot of stuff from Amazon. Obviously, yes, Amazon does a whole bunch of other things, but it makes a lot of sense. Also, for those that, you know, I don't know how to really say this. For those who weren't really paying as much attention, but there was a major concert involving Kendrick Lamar for Juneteenth, there is that entertainment aspect too. So the live entertainment aspect for Amazon with their Amazon streaming service, that's going to pull in a lot of people too. Now, I don't think that's going to make the biggest difference for July 4th, but it could be something down the line that can make Amazon a whole lot more valuable in the future. We know Amazon's performance recently has done well, though they did have a skid in 2021 and 2022, but that live events, don't sleep on it. This is the reason why when I was disappointed in Amazon, you can go back and check those videos, in 21 and 22, I said I was going to hold on to it. Just like I said I was going to hold on to NVIDIA when they weren't doing well. This is that reason. This right now, though it is, I know the stock is a lot more expensive now, it could be I would feel a lot more confident buying it. I will say that, because the way the streaming landscape has been played, right? We see how well Netflix is doing. Amazon is investing a lot more in these live concerts, in these live streaming rights, picking up more NFL games, and that is only going to pick up, right? I was going to say accentuate, but accelerate here in the next several years. So I'm talking like 5, 6, 7 years into the future. It is going to be a major player in that space. So keep a strong eye on Amazon. We know about the Amazon Prime, e-commerce side of it. That is just one piece. And obviously we know the AWS stuff too. So that is the list when it comes to July 4th. However, that's not the only holiday on the calendar, and that's not the only thing that you want to have in your portfolio. If you're looking for other stocks that you want to round out your entire portfolio or your watch list, you want to check out these videos right here.